You let me deal with your parents. My grandma shook her head, placing a cup of tea in my hands. 1 year later, haha. I laughed, launching myself through the air. I maneuvered around the muscular arms that reached out to grab me. I dropped to the ground, dodging limbs and landing my own blows as I went. Good Lola, don't let me land any blows. Chris's weary voice yelled out. Just a few more seconds. He's getting tired. Maya coached me. I continued to dodge each move Chris made, while landing my own in the process. I could feel him breaking down, growing tired as he threw all he had at me. Now, Maya yelled in my head. I leaped at Chris suddenly, his eyes widening in shock before he could defend himself. He turned away, as if he were going to run. I landed on his back and wrapped my arms around his neck, putting pressure on his windpipe. After a second or two of holding it there, I jumped off his back and beamed up at him. That was some good work, kid. Chris nodded appreciatively. Thanks, I smirked, finally having gotten the upper hand on him. Chris rolled his eyes and frowned at me. Don't go getting cocky now. You still need to work on building your strength. I know, just let me have this win. I sighed, smiling at my grandma as she came out of the cottage with food and drinks. I had been living with grandma for almost a year, only talking to my parents once a week. I stopped calling my mom after a month. She insisted on giving me updates on Tyler and his mate, which I learned was named Brittany. I kept in constant contact with my dad, the only person who seemed to understand the decision I had made. Even my older brother Sean rarely called. Sean had started taking over his duties as beta, my father having retired almost a year ago. Life had been amazing living with my grandma. I spent my 18th birthday in her cottage, picking herbs and making pastries with the apples she had picked. My grandma lived a simple life, but I had quickly grown to love it. She introduced me to her neighbor, Chris. Chris happened to be a werewolf like grandma and I. In Chris's prime he was one of the best warriors in history, and even a beta at one point. No one knew what happened to him after he disappeared, no one but my grandma. Chris agreed to train me, looking at my short stature, and deciding I needed to know how to protect myself. Chris taught me to use what I had in my favor. Being 5'2" and 105 pounds didn't give me much to work with. After training with Chris for almost a year, I could easily handle myself. I'm small and fast, which means men twice my size had to work even harder to land any blows. Lola, dear, your brother's on the line waiting for you, Grandma informed me, placing a sandwich in my hand as I walked into the house. Hello, I said through a mouthful of sandwich. Why would Sean be calling me? Lola, I have some news. Sean's voice responded from the other end, sounding a lot deeper than usual. What's up? I frowned, sitting on the arm of the couch as I munched on my sandwich. There was a long pause on the other end of the line. Mom's dead, Lola, Sean replied in a gruff voice. I felt my face scrunch up in confusion. How could Mom be dead?